All right, my Taurus friends, how are you today? Michael Eschenburg here, Honest Aim, bringing you your monthly horoscope for June of 2020. All right, we've got a lot going on. We've got 2 eclipses happening this month. We've got Mercury retrograde happening in the middle of the month. Venus is already retrograde right now. We're going to have Neptune retrograde later this month. Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter are all retrograde up there in Capricorn and Aquarius. Okay. A lot of reevaluating life right now. A lot of changes are going on right now. For you in your first house, you've got Uranus. All right. Huge changes are coming away or making way for you, my Taurus friends. Okay. Now, you're the stable earth sign. You're the stable sign of the zodiac, the steadfast, foolproof Taurus. And this is like concrete. You're like a concrete sign, a concrete player, practical. And there's so much change coming up this month, so much change coming up for you this year, over the next several years, specifically with Uranus being in your sign. It's like, hold on to your seats and get excited, because life's going to get really funky in a good way, and like all things have to go before it goes back up, so this month we're going to see a lot of turnarounds. Okay. So right off the gate, let me show you your chart here. We've got, there we go. On the 3rd, okay, we've got Venus here, which is retrograde in your 2nd house. So it means you're reevaluating your money. Venus is the money planet. Venus is what you love, want, and desire. And this is, people as well as things, as well as finances. Okay, so the fact that Venus is in your 2nd house, this has to deal with money for you. Your goods and what you're spending money on, what you're choosing to save, what you're choosing to, and it's about the thought. How do you feel? How are you thinking about spending this money? Right? So we have Venus and the Sun conjunct at 13 degrees. I've got your chart set for the 4th, but this happens on the 3rd. Okay. So on the 3rd, we've got this beautiful Venus-Sun conjunction. I'm going to put out a whole separate video about that, as well as they form a beautiful sacred geometric shape around the Sun when they meet up. Okay. Every 8 Earth years is 13 Venus years. They meet up 5 times around the Sun, and they form a star. Okay, it's like a pentagram around the Sun. It's a really beautiful dance that these two do. Again, we'll talk about that more in the daily, so keep your eyes peeled for that video. All right, on the 5th now is the lunar eclipse, okay, here in Sagittarius. So the moon's going to be here in your 8th house, which this is highlighting for you. Okay, and lunar eclipses, this is about the shadow. We're seeing the shadow of the Earth on the moon. So a full moon, obviously we're seeing the full illumination of the Sun, fully illuminating the moon to its fullest. And caught in the middle, because the nodal aspects, here's the Earth. And this is going to be pretty far off, I'm going to be honest. This isn't a total lunar eclipse by any means. This is anything within 18 degrees is an eclipse. So the Sun's going to be at 15 degrees here. The node's going to be at 29 degrees, so we're within that. But as you see, it's very off. So we're just barely seeing a shadow of the Earth here. But for you, this is in your 8th house of shared resources. So this is between my material possessions, my money, my goods, mine, terrible twos. This is me, I. And this is what's yours and what you have. And what we have together. How can we take what I have and what you have, and can we create more? And it's like we're only getting a glimpse of this right now, and these are where the eclipses are going to be for the next, year and a half, here in Gemini and Sagittarius. So it's like this 8th house energy is going to be consistent through you over the next few years, or the next year and a half at least. Okay, so it's like, again, reevaluating what's mine and what's yours, and can we pool together? Is it wiser? If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, you go together, right? So making some decisions on your finances and how you're choosing to group up with other individuals to create more abundance, and sharing knowledge. This all, again, has to deal with knowledge, all the knowledge and higher thinking and travel. So expect some of those beautiful things coming your way. On the 13th, okay, in your 11th house here, we have Mars, Neptune, and the moon are all going to meet up here on the 13th of the month. Okay, so Mars is our planet of action, right? We're putting the foot on the gas, we're moving forward. Neptune is our planet of dreams and imagination. It's illusory, but at the same time, it's the oneness. And this warrior is saying, I want to seek this oneness. I want this spiritual awakening. I want, I'm moving towards something. I'm moving toward a dream. I'm moving towards something I desire on a deep level, okay? Right? Mars rules Aries as well as Scorpio. So this is things that are under the surface. So there's something under the surface that I've been working at, something under the surface that you've been trying to obtain or trying to create in your life. And in June, there's a really good opportunity for you to manifest that. Especially, this is in your 11th house, which is about the community. So this is, so one, we have an eclipse here with your shared resources. And then right after, we have this connection, with taking action, moving forward to connect with your dreams. And the moon is there too, saying, this is what I need. This is my emotional alignment, where my emotional need, where my drive and my dreams all come into one. And again, this being in your 11th house, so this is forward thinking. It's like you're the director of the show. You see the bigger picture, and it's just like, who are you going to share that bigger picture with here? Because you do have Mercury, which is going to go retrograde in your 3rd house. Okay, that's going to happen on the 18th. So Mercury, okay, in Cancer, in your 3rd house, going to retrograde on the 18th. Retrograde meaning go backward. Okay, it's not a physical thing. The planet doesn't actually stop and move backwards. This is an optical illusion from Earth's perspective, geocentric perspective. If this was heliocentric, sun-centered, the planets all move forward all the time. Okay, either way, so this retrograde is always a time to reevaluate and rethink. And we'll talk more about the retrograde in the dailies, so please check out the daily horoscopes. What this energy is saying, you following through with your dreams, you understanding your money, you connecting your money with other people, or your home. This could be, whatever the shared resources. This could be home. This is my kingdom. Usually home is more 4th house, but my kingdom, my things, my goods, my material wealth, my possessions, your possessions, it's just like, okay, what are we doing? We're going to move forward together because we want to go far. And who am I sharing this knowledge with is really important. I love my nephew, smart 13-year-old. I cannot talk quantum physics with him, though. I can't talk deep astrology with him. I can't talk about love, deep issues, you know what I mean? Because he doesn't have the capacity. So who are you choosing to share knowledge with right now is extremely important, because if I start sharing knowledge with my 13-year-old nephew of whatever, this higher thinking stuff, and he's not there, the answer that he's going to give me back, or the advice that he's going to give me back, is probably going to serve very little, you know what I mean? And not discrediting the mind of a 13-year-old, but however, you understand what I'm saying, with the lack of worldly knowledge, lack of experience, they're going to be limited on the capacity to what they're going to offer you back. So it's saying, who am I choosing to share this stuff with? Because if I choose to share it with the wrong person, and you'll figure this out, whoever it's supposed to be, they're going to beat you up, or they're going to downplay your idea. You've got a brilliant idea here. You do. I can see it. There's something brilliant happening behind the scenes for you. And it's just like, ooh, it's ready. We're ready to do the unveiling, and then you're unveiling, you don't want to, you want to unveil to the right audience, That's it. You want to unveil to the right audience. So make sure you're being selective during this retrograde that's coming up, and who you're sharing this information with. Okay. Now that's the 18th. On the 21st, we got the big whopper, solar eclipse. Okay. So the solar eclipse is going to happen at 0 degrees of Cancer on the solstice. So the sun's going to move into Cancer. We're going to start summer, and we're going to start with the bang, starting with an eclipse. Okay. So this, again, is happening in your 3rd house, but this is also most likely happening in your 2nd house. If you've been hanging out with me in this channel, I didn't put the May horoscopes out. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to tell everybody this why. I'm a 2 degrees Virgo. One of my best friends is a 28 degrees Virgo rising. Okay, I'm a 2 degrees Virgo rising. My chart reads perfect for Virgo. I'm 2 degrees. Her chart is a 28 degree Virgo. would almost read better for Libra, where right now Mars is in my 7th house, it's in her 6th house. So if you know your chart, it makes this so much better, and know that it's the rising sign that you're looking at and where these planets are playing into you. If you'd like a reading, by any means, reach out. I'd be happy to talk and dive deeper into your chart and your astrological DNA and figure out what's going on where. So that's part of the reason why I didn't put the maze out. I am putting this out with skepticism, because I want to make sure that I'm giving proper information that's going to help guide individuals, right? But I have to leave that up to the individuals to know their chart and how this places for themselves. So that's my disclaimer. Okay, so the solar eclipse on the 21st, again, this could be in your 2nd house, because it's at 0 degrees of Cancer, and unless you're a 0 degrees, Taurus rising, this is most likely going to happen in your 2nd house, not your 3rd house. Okay, so this has to deal with your finances, has to deal with money. There could be a great illumination. There could be a great awakening. Eclipses are Uranian, just like Uranus is in Taurus right now. Okay, so there's that great awakener, that eureka moment kind of feeling with the solar eclipse. And again, that's happening on the 21st, most likely in your 2nd house of finances, material possessions and goods. Okay, then on the 23rd, let me jump back. Neptune is going to station retrograde. Okay, this happens every year, 6 months. The outer planets, we don't feel them as much as we do Mars and Mercury and Venus. Okay, Mercury is going retrograde on the 18th. Venus is already retrograde. Mars will retrograde later in the year. Either way, we feel those planets very much. Neptune, how are we going to feel this greatly? I don't know. It's so debatable. Either way, it moving back, it was like retrograde around 15, 16 degrees last year when it ended. So it's moved about 5 degrees forward. So it's just going to retrace this little area between, 17 degrees and 20 degrees for the next few months here. Okay. Now we have on the 24th, Venus here in your 2nd house will station direct. Okay, so the Venus retrograde ends. This is a time where we're always reevaluating our relationships. Again, the relationship with our money, with our finances. This could also be the relationship with other people. This could also indicate, with this eclipse coming up, the Venus retrograde, your shared resources. Do you have a spouse? Or are you living with someone who's not pulling their weight and you need them to step it up? And how do you communicate this compassionately without throwing the baby out with the bathwater? Because when we have a Venus retrograde, relationships are always up for reevaluation. And I don't mean to say that lightly. I've definitely gone through a breakup on a Venus retrograde. It sucks. But we're clearing out the space. This is immutable, changeable Gemini. We have to create the space in our lives to move forward, to obtain the dreams that we're trying to get. And sometimes rejection is redirection in where we're going. So whoever's dealing with something like that, my heart's with you, and hopefully, we're moving toward a better place here. The 22nd to the 30th, really through the end of the month, 22nd to the end of the month, Jupiter here is going to conjunct Pluto. And then at the very end of the month, Saturn's going to hit, 0 degrees. And then on the 2nd of July, Saturn's going to be back into Capricorn again to restamp and renotarize, make documents official laws put into place, new orders put in, dealing with the stuff here in the United States, the authority, the abuse of authority. Okay, this is Jupiter's expansive characteristics. Okay, the expansiveness, the abuse of my power. Okay, now we got Pluto, the death and transcendence and transformation of such power. Okay, so the stuff that we're dealing with here in the United States, with the riots, the peaceful protests, the abuse of power, and again, it doesn't matter even if you don't live in the United States, this is affecting us globally, right? Everything from COVID and on, all right? Our governments are all being, this affects everybody. This is not just one state or one instance or one country or one thing. The world is going to feel the effects of this Jupiter-Pluto conjunction And we're going to change our government, the big picture government. If it doesn't happen now, it's going to be before, because they're going to connect again one more time. So Jupiter's going to go backward. Let me see from your angle. Jupiter's here. Okay, the 22nd to the 30th, Jupiter, Pluto meet. Then Jupiter's going to go back. And forgive me, it's not until later in November, December when they meet back up again. December. I don't remember what date, forgive me. It doesn't matter. It's months away. So either way, we're solving these issues right now, right? We're figuring this stuff out. We're deflating this overabundance and misuse of power, the vulgar display of power and misuse of authority, okay? So it's up for question, it's up for transformation, and it's up for change, okay? And that's coming from us as well. We're the ones putting the pressure as we, the government, we, the people, are the government. This is Saturn's job in Aquarius, the community, right? And this is in your 10th house. So Saturn's moving through your 10th house of your career right now. So with Saturn being in career, Venus being in money, the eclipse being in your sign of money, you know, there's something going on here with you, my Taurus friends. And there's a great change again with Uranus being here. So much Uranian energy between finances, shared resources. My 10th house of career is changing. There's something changing. And knowledge, you know, like how you're viewing this higher knowledge and what is right, what is wrong, what is truth, what is fact, and where does that line blur? It's completely possible for two parties that have opposite views to both be right. It's completely possible for two parties with opposite views to both be completely wrong, right? And it's up to you, my Taurus friends, to discern the difference and choose on where you want to go, what you're going to follow, and who you're going to be communicating with. All right. So in a nutshell, that is your month of June. Have a beautiful month ahead. As always, thank you for hanging out with me. Drop me a line if you want to get a private reading from me. My email is down below. Thank you as always. Have a beautiful month.